Hi, welcome back to Flipping Pages, Stirring Sauces. Um, I would like to say Tawada to all my supporters, those who have liked, those who have shared, and those who have subscribed. And I want to say shout out to my godson, shout out Shakina, shout out to my sister Denise, and much appreciation to all the supporters. Tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about Joe Biden, Horace Chang, Christopher Tufton, and Andrew Holness. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. I don't know how many people know or how widespread it is out there that 12 of his top fighter pilots have walked off the job because in his brilliance he decided to try and mandate the army, I guess the National Guard and the Navy, to take the job. And these institutions that are set up to protect America are now fed up with Joe Biden. And the reason he started with those particular institutions is because the majority of people in those institutions are melanated people. A lot of these people join these institutions in order to get a good education, because a lot of them, because of the way the system is set up, are not able to afford a good education. So they join these institutions in order to get that good education, and then they're sometimes drawn into conflicts. America is in a very vulnerable situation right now, and she is about to implode. Just watch what is going to happen over the next 7 months. Joe Biden has put America in a very vulnerable situation because of his authoritarian behavior, his zeal to be a dictator. And so, yeah, America is Babylon, and Babylon and her supporters must and will fall. And this is the start of her downward spiral because she is imploding. Now on to Andrew Holness. Now, a lady who I imagine is a very spiritual woman was talking to him the other day about repenting. And his response to her was, did you take the V? And then he went on to say, God created the V. Yeah, his God created the V. But I don't think it's the same God that the lady worships. And the lady made a mistake in assuming that she could speak to his conscience or speak to his heart. But he doesn't have a conscience, he doesn't have a heart, because he's not human. So you cannot appeal to his sense of right or wrong. He's one-dimensional, and he's been programmed to focus on the big C. And how do you stop a machine in its tracks? A computer. You overload it so it crashes, or you short circuit it, or you simply turn it off. That computer needs to be turned off, or it needs to crash or short circuit. And people think I'm using a metaphor or joking when I say it's a computer. I'm not. It is not human. Moving on to Christopher Tufton. He was somewhere with some of the less fortunate people in Jamaica, and they were telling him that they would like water. And his response was, get the jab and you'll have running water. That was his response. Water is essential to one's survival, to one's hygiene. And he's a health minister. Whether he was joking or not, it was in very poor taste. Extreme poor taste. And we move on to Horace Chang, security minister. 5 got murdered in downtown Kingston. And he hasn't said a peep. Not one word about the crime and violence, a lot of which is taking place in his constituency. And the other thing, going back to Andrew Holness, he has not condemned the killing of that woman who spoke out against him, who exercised her constitutional right to freedom of speech, her constitutional right to say what is wrong in the country. She was murdered in cold blood. And he has said not one word about it. His silence means he's in agreement with it. Yep. That is what that means. He's in agreement with it. And I'm surprised that Jamaicans are not saying anything about it. Are they afraid? They must be afraid. Andrew Holness has another 3 days of no movement days coming up. How does he expect people to eat? How does he expect people to pay their bills? See, if he was human, he would care. But because he's not human, he doesn't care. Doesn't care. I'm going to be reading something from the oppressor's Bible. And this is what we have to look forward to before things improve. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I'll be reading from Ezekiel chapter 39. Therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against Gog, and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee, and will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel. And I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, and will cause thine arrows to fall out of thy right hand. Thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, thou and all thy bands, and the people that is with thee. I will give thee unto the ravenous birds of every sort, and to the beast of the field to be devoured. Thou shalt fall upon the open field, for I have spoken it, saith the Lord God. And I will send a fire on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am the Lord. You know, Magog, Gog and Magog, Russia and China. So will I make my holy name known in the midst of my people Israel, and I will not let them pollute my holy name any more. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, the Holy One in Israel. Behold, it is come, and it is done, saith the Lord God. That is the day whereof I have spoken. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth, and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows, and the handstaves, and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years. And we are in that 7-year period. I believe it ends in 2024, but we are in that 7-year that Ezekiel is speaking about right here. So that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forests. For they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoiled them, and rob those that rob them, saith the Lord God. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses of the passengers, and there shall they bury Gog and all his multitude. So there shall they bury the Russians and the Chinese and all of those who have taken counsel with them against us. And they shall call it the valley of Hamon-Gog. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land. There's that 7 month again. Remember, I said, watch what's going to happen to America in the next 7 months, because she's going to be imploding. And here we have another common thread of 7 months. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land. Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown, the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord God. And they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury the passengers, those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it, After the end of 7 months shall they search. And the passengers that pass through the land, when any seeth a man's bone, then shall he set up a sign by it, till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamon Gog. And also the name of the city shall be Hamon-nah. Thus shall they cleanse the land. And thou, son of man, thus saith the Lord God, speak unto every feathered fowl, and to every beast of the field, assemble yourselves and come, gather yourselves on every side of my sacrifice that I do sacrifice for you, even the great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that he may eat flesh and drink blood. He shall eat the flesh of the mighty, and drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of rams, of lambs, and of goats, of bullocks, all of them fatlings of Bashan. And he shall eat fat till he be full, and drink blood till he be drunken of my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed for you. Thus ye shall be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men, and with all men of war, saith the Lord God. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. So the house of Israel shall know that I am the Lord their God from that day and forward. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity. Yes, our forefathers couldn't keep their penises in their pants and went and married strange wives and worshipped other gods that they were not supposed to worship, because we are a stiff-necked people and we disobeyed the Creator. And he did tell us, if you don't do these things, this is what's going to happen to you. And we didn't listen, and he did as he said he was going to do, because he's not a liar, and his words will not return to him void. So yes. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So they fell, they all by the sword. So fell they all by the sword. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. So in other words, when people wake up and realize who they should be worshiping, the Creator is going to have mercy upon us, and we are going to be so much in love with our Creator and have eyes for none of those other gods that we're going to be jealous of his name. After that they have borne their shame and all their trespasses, whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid. When I have brought them again from the people, and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, and I am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations, then shall they know that I am the Lord their God, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them unto their own land, and have left none of them any more there. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, saith the Lord God. Can't argue with the Creator, can we? This is what he says he's gonna do. And this is what he's doing, and the land is being cleansed. So let these heathens jab each other so that we can take our rightful position as the head and not the tail. And I am going to invoke. And invoke simply means asking the Creator's help. Asking the Creator to help you. I was reading just now. Now I'm going to be invoking 2nd Esdras 15 verse 43 to 51. When we invoke, we ask the Creator to give power to our words. And our words are sent out there as sharp as swords. And like I said, we can give life to our words. And when we invoke, that is what we're doing. We are giving life to our words, and we're sending them out there to destroy our enemies. So with that, 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 43 to 51. I invoke upon Cain's seed and Babylon. Yes, America is Babylon, and all those who take counsel with her are Babylon and will be destroyed along with her. The Creator says, come out from among them, my people, and be ye separate. And there's still too many of us living among Babylon. And when we come out from among them, and there's going to be a mass exodus out of the US, out of Canada, and out of the UK, and wherever else the Creator's children are. There needs to be a mass exodus so that the Creator can get on with what He said He's going to do. And they, the destroyers of the Gentiles, shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid. Babylon is going to be afraid of us because we are the destroyers of the Gentiles. They shall come to her and besiege her, the star, and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up unto the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her. And they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear. So in other words, those who took us into captivity, those who had us work for nothing, those who refuse to give us reparations, will be taken into captivity, and they will become our servants, and they will do as we say, because we are the head and they are the tail. And the Creator Himself said, those that took into captivity will themselves be taken into captivity. Let me tell you something. When I say that Andrew Holness is a machine, he's not the only machine. All of these people running countries are machines. Xi Jinping Joe Biden, Justin Trudeau, Andrew Holness. What's that one in England? Whatever his name is. They're all machines that need to be turned off. Verse 46. And thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person. Come now. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou art made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. I hope that's clear. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith God, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death. So, we'll have a lot of lonely people running around without husbands. I have to get this back. Okay, I lost it there for a minute. My screen is doing funny things. But yeah. So these women will be looking forward to being widows, because their men will be destroyed.